Well, for more on Ukraine's Independence Day, we can cross now to our reporter James André, who's standing by in the heart of the capital this hour. James, what's the mood like in central Kyiv at the moment, with these fears rife that Russia could well use today's event to strike again?
As well, the mood here is indeed one of great calm, which is unusual on Independence Day, and also, people wondering what might happen today, because indeed a lot of people here are very worried that there could be a Russian strike. Now, as you can see behind me, there is nothing planned for this Independence Day. Usually there is a large military parade. Now, last year, 2021, marked the 30 years of Ukrainian independence, and while here, 5,000 troops marched. There were armored vehicles. There was also delegations from 50 countries, and American and British soldiers marched alongside their Ukrainian counterparts. Well, nothing of the sort this year, but as you can see behind me, there are tanks, but these are burnt out Russian tanks that have been placed here by authorities to show the population that indeed this war is being waged and that Russians are paying a heavy price. Now, as you can see behind me, there are people walking around taking selfies, looking at these tanks. It's quite a sizable exhibition. It goes along for hundreds of meters. Things are rather calm, but it's an eerie calm here in Kyiv.
And secondly, James, you've been back to the town of Irpin to the north of Kyiv, which was heavily hit, of course, in the early days of this invasion. What is life like there now?
Well, life is very much picking up in Irpin. It's interesting to note that people are rebuilding already. Now, as you arrive onto the city, there is this very famous bridge. Well, that bridge is already being reconstructed, though next to the original one, because indeed the pictures went around the world at the time, it has been decided that the area where most of the population of Irpin fled towards Kyiv at the beginning of the war, that's 40,000 people, will become a memorial, and there will be a museum. Now, we met the mayor, and he told us that indeed reconstruction was important because, they believe in victory, and they think it is time to start preparing the aftermath of this war. When you drive into Irpin, you realize that people are working everywhere, rebuilding houses, fixing shops. And what we saw was people very much mobilized, getting ready for the families returning in September. One man was telling us that he believes that indeed there will be a peak in the amount of people returning to put children at school for the school year. We also met a woman who had returned to Irpin from the east of the country. She was right next to the Polish border. She said she'd been there for 6 months, but now she wanted to return to rejoin her soulmate, as she says. That is her boyfriend with her child, and wanted to have a renewed life. She was telling us that, of course, she was very sad that she believes the life of before is gone and will never come back, but it is time to rebuild something new in Irpin, which she feels, despite the fact she was worried, of course, there might be an airstrike or a missile, but she feels is now safe enough to live in and have her children at school in.
Our reporter James André, thank you very much.